it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and Sam here with a video I didn't know how I wanted to do, but I decided to do the 23 books I want to read in 2023. Now, I did do 10 books I wanted to read in 2022 and did like half of them. I reacted to that video for my patrons and I did not remember half the books I put on that list and only read half of them, but everybody I know is doing 23 books to read in 2023, so that's what I'm doing. I have 23 books in front of me. They're books that I'm highly anticipating. They're all books for my shelves. My goal is to continue reading books that I own because I own a lot. So we're just going to go ahead and get to it. I'm not going to spend too much time on each book because I don't want this video to be excessively long. Book 1, The Rebel by Sophie Lark. This is book 2 in the Kingmaker series. I love Sophie Lark. I love the Brutal Birthright series. I read Ivan and Snow. I read The Heir. Love them all. I have a little bit of a problem finishing series. I don't know what's wrong with me. I have so much to read that I'm like, I don't need to continue because I've already read one book in that series. I need to read another one in this series. I do have a few in here where they're like books 2 or 3 in the series because I would love to continue on. This one's definitely one of them. I don't even know who the characters in here are. It's been so long since I read book 1, but I'm nervous also because they're chunky, but the text is like super big, so I feel like I won't have a problem reading it. But love Sophie, want to continue on. High on my priority list. Next is one that Cheyenne gifted to me a while ago. I don't remember when she sent this to me. It is one I'm dying to read. It is my favorite trope, and it's Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, and it is super angsty, but it's thick and it scares me. That's Dancing with Sin by Alexandria Lee. This one, I believe, is a sister's fiance. She is he's engaged to her sister. She's a professional dancer, and I think she moves in with them and falls for her sister's fiance. Literally my favorite trope. I know that's messed up. Give me all the drama though, so I need to read it. I really want to. I will read it. The next one is because book 1 was on my TBR for 2022 and I read it, but I never continued on to book 2, and that is The Secret by Gianna Darling. I need to read the rest of her backlist because I really want to do a guide to her. I have 3 books left. I have this book, book 2, and then book 2 to the Enthralled duet or the Enslaved duet. So it's just series. I cannot continue, but this is again a sister's fiance's romance, and it's gonna be really good. Book 1 was super spicy. Didn't have any of the forbidden aspect yet because we didn't learn who he was yet, but that's like well known about the series is that it's sister's fiance. So especially if you've read like the later series that are connected to this, but I want to read it. This one's short too, so I should be able to get to it. Then I really need to read Blockshot by Kennedy Ryan. This is one that I read like 2 or 3 years ago whenever it came out, and I only read half of it, and then I was reading other things and I was not in the mood for a really emotional romance. And this one, very emotional. Characters are going through a lot and there's cheating in here from what I remember. Possibly? Like she's dating someone and someone else comes into her life, but she's still dating that person. Longshot and Hookshot I loved. Hookshot was on my TBR for 2022 and I did read it and love it, so need to read this one, finish up my Kennedy Ryan backlist, even though I still have a lot more to read by her. Another author I'm trying to finish the backlist of is Jennifer Hartman. Hopefully by the time this video goes up I've read Lotus. That is high hopes, but I really want to read more of her. I actually started June 1st this year, but it is a book you need to be able to sit down and just read right through. So this has a lot of background. It starts when I think like the heroine is born and goes through their life together. So the hero loses his parents and has to live with his neighbors, and that's where the heroine's from. He's best friends with the brother, and I'm pretty sure he falls for her, and we see her be born on page 1. I think I got like 30% in and we were still when they were children. So I need to be able to just like fly through this so that I can not feel like it's dragging, because at the point I was reading, I was only reading on my ebook like maybe 30 minutes a day and it was getting too long and I was getting frustrated. So I want to be able to sit down and read this, but I think I'm going to still love it. I love Jennifer Hartman. I definitely want to read her newest release, though she's going to have 2 new releases in January and I'm pumped. Okay, the next one is another gift from Cheyenne. Cheyenne has the best recommendations, and this one I have to read. It is Mr. Romance. He is an escort and she is a journalist, and she is caught up in the urban legend of him, and she wants to publish a scathing expose on him, and he challenges her to give him 3 dates to not fall in love with him. So this sounds like so much fun, and I know Cheyenne loves it, so I need to read this. I also have 2 authors I would love to read more from because I've read some from them and really love them. We have Moments in Time by KK Allen. I thought book 1 was okay. I do really enjoy her as an author and I have high expectations for book 2. I hope I really love it. This one is a second chance romance. So 7 years ago, they were together, loved each other, but they couldn't be together, and now they are back together in some capacity and want to fall in love love again. So hopefully I enjoy this. I love small town romances. Then I have The Plan by Carla Sorensen. This one is book 1. I just got book 2, I think, for Christmas as well. It's the Washington Wolves series, which I thought was another series, but this is like a spin-off of her Ward Sister series and then her other series as well. This one's another football romance, which I really love. Carla Sorensen writes such good romances. I think I was obsessed with her in 2021 and never continued on with her books, so I need to read more. He's a former football player and has to be her bodyguard, so she decides that they're just gonna fake date so people don't know she has a bodyguard. Sounds so good. Okay, we're actually making good time. I'm like a third of the way through. The next one was on my 2022 TBR. The next 2 were, and I didn't get to them. So they are fantasy romances. I really want to read more fantasy romances. We have Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. I have this book and book 2. I love K.A. Tucker's contemporary, so I feel like I'm gonna really love her fantasy romances. And this one, I don't even know what it's about. She's a thief. She steals jewels from the rich, and she needs to work for someone to steal a stone from a secret garden without anyone discovering her identity. So I need to read this. Like I said, I want to read more fantasy romances. This has been on my TBR for way too long. And then A Promise of Darkness has been on my TBR for too long too by Beck McMaster. I have heard really good things about this author and this book, and one of them's a princess. She has to send one of her daughters to his court to be held hostage, and I think they fall in love. Yes, so her mother sends her to be held hostage at the prince's court, and I think they fall for each other. That sounds like it's gonna be a really, really good romance. So hopefully I enjoy that one. Then I have one that Michae from Michae sent me because we both love this author, and it's another one of my favorite tropes, and it is My Fiance's Brother. And that's literally the synopsis. It's Shanora Williams. We both love Shanora Williams, so I'm really excited to read this. I definitely want to read more by this author. So this says my brother was the rich guy, the smart one, the one who had it all. And he did not follow that path, and now it says my brother is engaged to the woman I love, and he may have her, but she'll always belong to me. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. So angsty. I think I'm gonna absolutely love it. Then I have By a Thread by Lucy Score. I really enjoyed Things We Never Got Over. Again, I'm cutting a really chunky book on this list, and I'm being very, very optimistic, but this one, I don't know what it's about. I know that people really love this one by her though, and it's one of her older releases. This might just say the new release date. Oh, 2020. This came out in 2020. Bloom did just publish it though traditionally. So this one is, I think it's Grump Sunshine. I am excited to see if I really love Lucy Score as an author because I want to just discover more from her backlist. Then I have Heart Song by TJ Klune. This was my Wolf Song, I think was my favorite of like 2 or 3 years ago. I was obsessed. Then I read the next one, and I still haven't read the next one because they're so emotional and they're like so good, and I push books off that I think are going to be new favorites because I'm like, it needs to be special time for me to read a book that could be a new favorite. So this one is Robbie's story. Robbie is like one of my favorites because thinking of him in book 1, I love these characters so much. I would love to reread Wolf Song at some point and annotate and highlight because that book broke me. And I liked book 2 as well, so hopefully I can continue reading. They're werewolf romances. They're amazing. I'm obsessed. I need to read it. Then another new author to me is, oh, it got a little bent when I went to Book Bonanza because I had everything stacked up in my suitcase. But we have Catching Caden. These are baseball romances, and I actually found books 2 and 3 at a Half Price Books, so I'm very excited for that. He ends up shattering the face or the jaw of a model because he hit a ball, like he was up to bat and hit the ball into the stadium, and I think it hurt her, and now he wants to like help her, and they fall in love. That sounds really fun. Very, very unique. Hopefully I find a new favorite author in that. Another favorite author of mine I think I'm gonna love is Telltale Heart by Danielle Allen. I don't know what this is about, but it's part of her Edgar Allan Poe inspired stories. This one was in the bookworm box and I had to have it, so of course I got it. Danielle Allen is one of my favorite authors. I want to read so much more of her backlist this year, and so this one I'm excited. And then it says, how do you tell your brother's best friend that you love him? How do you tell your brother you're in love with his best friend? A trope I love. Another one I've had on my shelves for a while that I really want to read is Condemned to Love by Siobhan Davis. I feel like some of my friends have read this though and not enjoyed it, but they're mafia romances, and she has had a crush on him, and it says he's now a ruthless killer and powerful mafia heir, and Ooh, someone wants her. Oh, I guess he dated her sister. It says he can't believe his ex's little sister's all grown up and beautiful. So I think he has to help protect her. Give me the mafia romances by new authors. I'm excited. Then of course I have to read Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. I need to read this series because she is a new favorite author of mine, and like for a lot of these, I need to get to more of her backlist, including this series. So I think I own all of them now and I have to read it. Like, it is a small town on a ranch, and this one I think is enemies to lovers, if I'm not mistaken, so hopefully I like it. Another book that is the end of a duet is The Resurrection of Wildflowers by Michae Smelter. I read The Confidence of Wildflowers. I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of time. It had like a crazy cliffhanger that was kind of annoying, but it has me like morbidly curious about what's gonna happen. Like, I feel like I'm gonna not like it, but I have to read it. The first book was very dramatic, read like a soap opera. I really liked it. I literally could not put it down, so I really want to read this one because I love Michae and I want to read more of what she has out, including this, so that I can finally finish this duet. Like, for some reason, especially duets, I'm like, I don't want to finish it, and I don't, so I want to. Hopefully I can. Then I have Burn For Me by Sarah Kate. This one I believe is older woman, younger man. She is the professor, and he is in her journalism class, and she is the one who sent his father to jail from like an expose she did. So talk about angsty and talk about forbidden, age gap, older woman, like, I'm so excited. It's Sarah Kate, so I think I'm gonna really love this. 4 books left. We actually have 2 with a favorite trope of mine, which is the amnesia trope. So we have Someone Else's Shadow by Monica James. I love Monica James. Some of her stuff I've read recently though have been a little bit of a miss for me, so I've been hesitant to pick stuff up, but this one I think is gonna be one I love. I love the cover, and it says that she has no idea who she is. 6 months ago, she woke up from a coma not knowing anything, and now she is looking for answers. Amnesia. What more could I ask for? Another amnesia romance is Help Me Remember by Corinne Michaels. I got this at a Polycon. I really like Corinne Michaels, so I want to read more from her. And like I said, I love a good amnesia romances. So she knows for sure that her older brother's dead and she's the only person who saw it. But the lawyers have demanded that no one gives her any information about her life so she can remember on her own. And that means getting help from the brother's best friend, who is an investigative reporter. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. I never knew like the rest of the synopsis other than it's amnesia, so I think I'm gonna really love this. Oh, I'm so excited. This might be one of the first ones I read. Though that font is tiny. That's okay. I'm excited. Then this one is because my friends have all been reading it and loving it, and that is For Lucy by Julie Ann. I'm pretty sure Sam from Sam Reads a Little was like crying at the end of this, and Tori from Novel Life also read it and really enjoyed it. I don't know anything about this, so he stole her from another man. She was on a blind date. She mistook him for her blind date, and he didn't tell her until later, and they fall in love. But I think it's really, really emotional, so I'm very nervous for this one. And the last one I have, it's long, and I always dread reading this author's books, but then I love them. So I don't know why I dread reading them, but it's Gracie and the Grown by Mariana Zapata. I don't know anybody who's like loved this book, and that's also why I'm a little hesitant, because people loved Roads, like All Roads Lead Here, and I absolutely loved it. I haven't seen people saying this is an all-time favorite, so I am a little nervous. It's a superhero romance too, which I think is very new for Mariana Zapata, so if you liked it, let me know. I'm a little nervous, but I still want to read it because it is her new release, and I've read, I think, almost everything she's written at this point, so I need to read it. And those are the 23 books I want to read in 2023. Let me know which ones I should start with, which ones you're excited for, and which you want to read in the new year. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Bye.